Alright everybody, welcome back. Let's talk blades because that's what we're into. Today I have a budget folder from Coldsteel called Coldsteel Luzon. The Luzon is a Filipino-inspired design. It's a very interesting knife to me. It's kind of got that bamboo kind of handle. And Zytel plastic is what you'll have on this knife in particular. And it has a Coldsteel's, to me it's kind of new, their plastic pocket clip. Okay, so you know, they said that if it breaks you could just easily pay for another one to get it replaced, whatever. It's not a bad pocket clip. I carried it for a little while and it's pretty durable. Doesn't seem to get caught on things, so I guess that's always a plus. Sports a 8CR13 MOV steel, Coldsteel China, and of course the Luzon. A very attractive blade. When I saw a picture of it, I was thinking, wow, you know, this is pretty cool, but for the price of $29.72 on Amazon, so $30, for a budget folder, I guess it's pretty decent. What I don't like about this knife is if you look, the blade kind of... Here's the handle. I'm gonna go down with it so you can see. The blade is kind of tipped. It's like going that way. And let's see if I turn it this way a little bit. And you can see that the blade is still that way. So yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be fixed. Someone told me that it could be the pivot. It could be easily be the pivot and it'll straighten out. But it doesn't bother me too much. That does. What you just saw me do just now, the flipper here, the detent on this particular knife model is kind of stiff, so you have to really prominently click it open in order for it to actually deploy. That's not a bad thing, but I don't really think it's a good thing either. And of course, if you want to make this into a fixed blade, it has a switch in here that prevents the lock to be disengaged. So I cannot disengage that lock unless I flip that down, and then... So it's not a bad knife. It just has... See, I don't like that. I don't like that very much. But I do have it in my collection. I don't, you know, mind having cheap Coldsteels, but I rather prefer spending the money for the Coldsteel, the right Coldsteel, to be made and done right. Not to say that this is a bad knife, it really isn't. It's actually a pretty decent knife. You get a full-length blade in it all, and on top of that, you get a whole hand grip on there. It just feels really thin in the hand. So, other than that, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So let's go ahead and get into the specs. So we'll go ahead and let's do the weight. 3.47 ounces, so under 4 ounces. That's really good. And of course, let's go ahead and do the length. That's a 4-inch blade. Overall, 9 inches. And yes, I don't need to shine the flashlight. You can see that it has steel liners right here, and then on top of that, they're military grade plastic. So overall, it's a Coldsteel, which means this thing is going to be durable. It's going to be sharp. And Coldsteel is known for their durability and sharpness of their knives, swords, and other things that they have. But this bamboo textured kind of thing doesn't really seem to bother me too much. for a budget folder, you get a lot of blade. You really do. Really, really do. So, oh, you know what? Let's do some cutting with it. I haven't done any cutting in my last couple of videos. Sorry about that, I keep forgetting. So here's some scratch paper. Here I am. Filleting this paper here for you guys. This knife is really, really sharp. So it's one of those knives that even for a budget folder, it still has the trademark signatures that Coldsteel is known for. So if the blade steel doesn't bother you, if the fact that these knives are kind of off-center when you get them doesn't bother you, there's no blade play. So I don't know, could be the pivot. If I tighten the pivot, it might straighten out, but it might be really hard to flick open considering that the detent on this thing's really strong. You have to really just, yeah. So the detent, this is probably the strongest detent I've had on any of my knives. So it's not bad, but you know, for 30 bucks, this is pretty good. You know, I've seen crappier knives for 20 bucks that were just crud. So, you know, $5 to $10 more, you can get yourself a real Coldsteel, which this is, and the Luzon. I've been looking forward to getting the extra large or the large Luzon for a while. I might get it, I might not. It just depends. I'm not entirely sure if I really want to, because it too is going to be just the same materials, but you know, bigger. So I don't know. I wasn't too impressed with the materials on this knife, which is probably one of the reasons why it's holding me back from buying the larger Luzon. But I mean, time will tell. I'll probably end up getting it anyways, just to have it, because it's Coldsteel and I love the big knives that Coldsteel has. So if you're into this kind of thing, go ahead and look it up on Amazon. They still have some. Back when I bought this, when it first came out, it was in stock, out of stock, in stock, out of stock, because every time they would get some, it would sell out, you know. So I had to hop on it and get it, because I was really curious about it, and I was like, you know what, I kind of do want that. It looks really good for the price that you pay on it, and it really is. I carried it for about a couple months, and I can tell you that the only thing that really bothered me about this knife was the plastic pocket clip. I'm not used to Coldsteel using plastic for their pocket clips, so it just kind of bothered me in that aspect. Other than that, it still cut really well. It still performed. The only thing that bothered me was a deployment when I pull it out my pocket and I'm trying to flick it open. You know, you kind of have to play around with it a little bit if you really want to work in that ball detent in there, in order to just kind of work it in. If yours is a little stiff like mine is, and you're slipping, then, you know, mess around with it for a little bit and it'll work itself out, I'm sure. If you want to really go to the extremes, then you could probably take it down and probably sand it just ever so slightly if you wanted to make, if you really want to go that far. I never try to do that because I don't want to overcorrect something and make it worse. So what's really cool is that this thumb stud right here acts as a stop pin, and you can see it stops right there. Got a little indentation for it, so that's kind of cool. Liner lock configuration. I don't know why they had to close this off right here, but it would have made cleaning a lot easier. It's not a bad knife though. It really isn't for what you're paying. So that is the Coldsteel Luzon. I don't know. I might get the big one now that I'm thinking about it, because I do miss holding this thing. It is a good knife. It's not exactly my go-to, but whatever is, you know. Not a bad knife. Kind of intimidating looking if you were to pull this out your pocket. You know, 4 inches of this probably make you look a little scary. But that all really depends on you. I think I would like this better if it had a metal pocket clip instead of this plastic one. I think that would be the tipping point right there. I would carry this more if this had a regular cold steel metal frickin' pocket clip. I would be happier with it, and I would probably carry it a lot more and use it a lot more knowing that I had a sturdy pocket clip on there than this plastic one. So, but that's just my personal opinion. Alright, so yeah, Coldsteel Luzon. See, look at that. It keeps slipping on that. And D10 sucks, man. I'll see you guys in the next one.